Yo,
What is up?
hey,
We're going a little earlier today. Was there a
I'll be
reason?
honest, I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. I mean, it's California, it's 7:46 a.m. you know, it's actually great for me. I'm up at 3:30, 4 in the morning, so I'm like, get a walk in and then we get here, you
You
know?
know, it's funny. I realized that, so I'm East Coast time and it's 10:45, and I've recognized that I need like 3 hours before we do this thing, like 2 to 3 hours. So I don't have to feel like I'm rushing it, and I feel like I've like warmed up into the day. I've like used
Yeah.
my brain a little bit to
Yeah.
like warm things up.
Wait, so how many hours have you been up since before starting?
Uh, I went to sleep at almost 1 a.m. So I took my time getting up this morning.
I see.
I set my alarm for like 7, but I did not get up at 7.
You
I
know
got
what
up at
Brian
like 8.
Johnson says that sleep is the number one thing.
Well, I failed
You
yesterday.
need to
Or maybe
eat
it's fine.
you need to eat 4 hours before going to bed and then go to bed and get full 8 hours of sleep so you get the best HRV.
Well, this is another live stream probably one day. Actually, this will tie nicely in to our topic today. Probably the idea that these things have to be perfect for me to feel what I need to feel. Anyway, I think let's just get into it then.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is our live stream that we call Breakthroughs Live, and essentially it's about how to get the breakthrough before something breaks you. Chad is dealing with stage 4 lung cancer. Was diagnosed 3.5 years ago. I had 3 strokes when I was 30. And our experiences from all these things basically told us the things that have happened to us were preventable, because there was no other real genetic or physiological reason that these should have happened in the traditional sense. And so this live stream is about breaking down the micro problems that kind of happen stealthily under the surface that you can't really tell is building up over time until something breaks. So we're trying to take one topic at a time, break it down, and help other people prevent what happened to us.
I'll say one thing. While many standard doctors won't technically attribute either of these to stress, neuroscience is starting to attribute, or at least say that sustained or prolonged stress can be a precursor to some type of trauma or chronic disease. And so when we look back on these situations, we're like, I don't know. There's a lot there. And the crazy thing is this is where it gets a little crazy and why this exists. A lot of that stress is actually generated internally by our own thinking about the experiences that we have.
Yeah. And what's interesting is I just said there was no physiological thing, when in reality, it is physiological, the disease, the condition itself. But
you didn't drink like arsenic or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like you didn't physically mess something up. You didn't have a genetic predisposition to this thing, but something internally can create the physiological response that puts you in that position that you don't want to be in.
Do you know what? That's the perfect time to say the term neuroimmunology. That's where chemicals the way you think.
That is where the immunology kind of comes into play. I realize. Well, there's the psycho, there's the neuro, and then there's immunology, which is your body's defense.
So your thinking with your brain creates chemicals
that either it could do 2 things. It could help you.
Well, and look, I don't know if we're already going off topic, but there are 2 states in life. There are only 2 states in life. Mm-hmm. You're either in one state, which is survival, or you're in another state, which is flow. And both of them have little levels within them, but survival state and flow state. Flow state's like that's the best state. If you've ever been in flow, that's the best. Yeah. So I think really, if you really look at the long-term goal of this, is how do we stay in flow as long as possible all the time?
The sustainable YOLO, you mean?
That's right.
God, we're gonna have to come back at some. We're gonna have a whole post or live stream just about what that is.
We literally should. Anyway.
Yeah. Because it's the goal of all of this. If you are sustainably YOLOing, then you are living a great life, no matter where you are on a scale of living. Like that is where everybody wants to be.
And you can do it. That's the thing.
So let's get into the topic. I think we chose this topic because we've mentioned it several times on different live streams, and it's sort of, we want to like, let's just dedicate a whole live stream just to this one thing. So this topic is about why your world isn't what you want it to be. And one layer below that is like, so when we say your world, it could be, you know, like how you live every day, like your work, your relationships, your friends, your family, etc. You know, what you think about what you do every day. So if that is not matching what you want it to be, why is that the case? And today we're going to talk a lot about how thoughts go all the way from thought to your identity, and that identity is who you are and why your world might not be where you want it to be.
Yeah, so I'm going to complement that concept, right? When we say your world, people first think this big world of like the world is chaotic, right? And it's huge. It's the world. And there is an element of that. The next part, then you just kind of funnel it down all the way down to as small as your world could be just you and your kids, you and your spouse. The world you live in could be talking about your office job. If you have an office job, maybe your job's outside, doesn't matter. It's your job, your world, right? Your health, right? Your medical world. Like, why isn't these things where you want them to be?
I think a good way to think about that is when we say your world and not the world has its problems and you have your problems. And that's what we're discussing right now is your world, like your problems or the things you talk about every day, not the world's problems, your problems. And that problems is a very large and vague term. It can mean a lot of different things, but that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I guess the first thing is like, how do we paint the picture of what this looks like so that we kind of like drill it down into, you know, things that people relate to and recognize?
Well, first we got to come out with this bold statement, right? And then dig into it. The bold statement is simply, your world is not what you want it to be because of you, right? And the way you think about your world. And people are like, "Wow, I have all these things coming. I don't have this. I don't have that." Well, look,
there it is. That was very meta of you.
Yeah, fucking cancer.
Yeah,
I don't want it, but guess what?
That's your world.
That's my world. That's my world. I don't know. You ask yourself what you rather have. That's usually what I ask people. Like, what would you rather have? Would you rather be complaining about this or complaining about that? And I say that because I have technically anybody in my position has every right to feel depressed, because I have been, every right to like feel like life is over, because it has felt like that, every right to call out the external circumstance. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Yeah, sorry, on the live stream. I couldn't find the mute button in time.
Yeah, it's a lot of
anyway. Like, I have every right, in theory, right, to say that my external world, right, has created me. And like, I could complain all day. And there are times I do, but I spend a lot of time realizing that I create the experience within this shitty experience. It's how I think about the experience. So when I say you're in control of how your world, it's really in control of how you think about the things that are in your world, specifically what comes at you that you actually probably don't want coming at you. I don't know.
So
is that a weird start?
No, it's not a weird start. Okay. We're just layering down from the world to your world to here's Chad's world, and it's currently in a very extreme state, right? Like it's more survival than most people.
Correct.
Or more survival thinking and dealing with things than most people. So then like one layer below that, so Chad is currently an edge case to like what most people are dealing with, right? So now let's, in the bell curve of experiences, you know, most people that would be listening to this stream would like, how does this look like? What does it look like in their normal life? And I tend, what we're talking about here can feel very meta in the sense that like it's really hard to be aware of what we're saying of yourself. So sometimes I like to think about or asking the question, do you know somebody who has a certain identity, a certain personality that like when you see them every day, they always act the same exact way and it's predictable. It is predictable because you're like, so for example, let's say there's somebody at your office and it could be you. It has been me before. So but like there's somebody at your office who you go and you talk to them and they're always in a like negative state. They're always like complaining about X, Y, and Z. Work sucks. I always have too much to do. I'm never gonna be able to finish this. My boss, I don't like them, like whatever it might be. That's a negative one. There's also probably someone in your office that is the opposite of that, where they're always energetic and they're just like, you love being around them, right?
Can I give you two?
Yeah.
Because when I used to run a team of 10, I had a team of 10 and I had exactly those two people. One person, he was very talented, actually, very skilled. He knew what he was doing. Every time we sat down to talk about what we could do, this idea, his first comment was always, well, that'll probably never work.
Ooh.
Literally every time. Well, I don't think that's going to work. Like, it's not going to work. Every idea that was brought up, it always started, well, I don't know how that's going to work. And that thinking in his world, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Created a state for us to see that was literally like walking around like, why even try? Like nothing's going to work. He doesn't know it though. He would walk around that way. On the flip side, I had this person on my team, this girl on my team. She was fantastic. And I'd say, hey, what do you think about doing this? And she goes, I don't know. I'm not sure, but let me look into it and maybe we'll give it a shot if it makes sense. I was like, oh, okay. Sounds good. You look into it. You let me know. But she always started with, I'll look into it. And so she'd look into it. Sometimes she'd come back to me. She goes, I don't think it's going to work. And here's why. And then she's like, no, I think it'll work. Let's try that. But the point was she had a default mechanism of, I don't know. Let me look into it. Yeah. And so you have two different people. First comment is, I don't think it's going to work. The other is like, I don't know. Let me see. Let me look into it.
Yeah.
So what happens is that's a simple thought. It's an external thought to me. They say that out to me, but they're already thinking it in their head. But then as we walk around the office and I pass these people, you can feel the difference between the two.
Oh yeah. I mean, that resonates with me. I hope no one else is here. I assume it does because I think people, what that phrase, you feel their energy when they walk into the room.
Yes.
Like there's a whole nother layer to this, which we're not going to get into, but like it is what you just described. I don't know these two people, but like that woman who was just like, oh yeah, like I'm a problem solver. We'll figure it out. Like, or like, I don't know, but let's try. That energy, like you can feel in a room, like, and the other energy, which is another person who's like, everything is bad and nothing's going to work. Yes, like that. Someone I work with now, I keep, and he's incredible, but like, he has like these ideas and then he starts the idea with, this probably isn't possible, but like, what if we did? And I was like, you got to believe. And I'm kind of joking around, but I was like, if you start everything with, it's probably not possible, then you've already dug yourself a hole. Like, yeah, so perfect segue into the idea that I initially thought about expanding upon this topic because sometimes I don't know, I think I heard it, some parent saying it to a kid or whatever, and our parents said it to us as children. And so I remember as a 5-year-old probably complaining about something that, I didn't understand or whatever. And, or I couldn't do something. I wasn't capable, whatever it was. And I'm sure our mom was like, well, not with that attitude. And it's just sort of this flippant phrase that people say. And now as someone much older with more experience and understanding how all this works, I was like, that's sort of what it is. So if that person in your office was like, oh, it's probably not going to work, blah, blah, blah. Like my initial thought was not with that attitude. Like it's such a a trope, or it's such a like a I don't know, just
So
a
it's
a
just so
platitude.
cliche.
It's
Yeah.
cliche. It's
It's a thing to
cliche.
say, especially to a kid, just a thing to say.
Yeah, but then you're like, no, but it really is true, which all the way goes to the science of it, which we don't know as kids, and no one really knows when they're saying not with that attitude.
Can I say something on that? Because what I do want to say is, well, the science of this has been coming out recently. We'll call it the last 10, 20 years. Okay. And it's quite fascinating. So our mom did not have access to these studies. She just knew the cliche, which is not with that attitude. And that is one step above many in just having that saying. So she did a great job saying that. If you take the science we know now and reverse and go back to that comment, the actual better way to say it, because this is what I want to get to, is the better way to do it now, right? Is if you say that and she goes, well, not with that attitude, what might have your response been?
Back then?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, but it would make me think. I don't know what it like. I think when I was that young, I wouldn't actually have a good answer.
You wouldn't have.
So I would complain some more, and then she would say, "Not with that attitude." Some more.
And so the thing that mom could have done better, again, no one knows this back in 1980, whatever, right? Is she would have said, well, let's stop and let's talk about the thought that makes you feel that way. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like what might be the thought? And you literally would have to work backwards. Well, tell me how you feel. Like, so it's like, well, not with that attitude. Well, how do you feel right now? Well, I feel like it's not possible. Well, what's not possible? Well, I'm not able to do X. What makes you think you can't do X?
Well, I didn't do it before.
Well, I couldn't do it. I didn't do it. Right. So then what would be a different thought that would make you think that you could do X? You see what I'm saying? Like, this is literally just dissecting down a feeling, which is saying, I won't be able to do it. But it's boiled down to a simple thought. You just have to get there.
Yeah.
And once you identify it and you're aware of it, then you can actually have a conversation on how to fix it to change into a different chemical.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of what we have done here, or we do here. So I say this in some of the intros where like we talk about these things that sort of build up in the background, and we say that because they're really vague and they're hard to describe. And what you just talked about is you applied logic and like structure to that vague feeling, because no one knows how to describe it or talk about it, and therefore it's really hard to change the thought if you can't get from not with that attitude all the way through the layers to get down to like, okay, that's where the source. Here's a better way to think about it. A lot of the things we kind of brush under the rug in today's world, and we just sort of like, oh, I'll deal with, I'll get over it sort of feeling, right? That's us not really getting to the source of the problem. That symptom will come up later every day. Right. Every day there's a symptom, and it's hard you can't solve the symptom without solving the source. And the source is what you just talked about, is like go through the layers. The whole like, my knee is in pain, and then someone's like, it's actually like your right big toe that's causing all of this chain reaction, but you're only thinking about your knee. And so you're solving the knee, and it never gets better because you haven't changed the source of the issue.
Yeah.
We're just doing that with mental stuff instead of physical stuff.
Well, this is why I struggle with therapists, right? I haven't had any therapist except for one out of 7, right? Actually helped, because we boiled down, and she didn't even know how to go deeper. It was just maybe it was lucky that she got there. I don't know.
I think she just asked more questions.
She asked more questions.
In a more better specific way.
Versus listening and letting me ruminate on the same shit. Because that's all it was. If the therapist is smart and she hears this rumination, she's going to put a little stick in the spoke to find what is triggering the rumination. And it always comes down to a thought. Obviously, there's many thoughts. By the way, you have 7,000 thoughts a day. So, of course, guess how many are negative? Out of 7,000 thoughts, guess how many are negative?
90%.
70, close.
Okay.
Anywhere from
I knew it was a lot, so I went big.
Yeah, anywhere from I knew this. Johnny, you want to know what supply run? What's this live entail? Well, look, Supply Run is actually a TV show that we built. This is a live stream called Breakthroughs. And basically, Breakthroughs is a mini version of the TV show where we help people get the breakthrough before something breaks them. And so we discuss all these things where we talk about how our minds actually sometimes create internal strife that actually breaks you in some way. Whereas you can have a chance to have a breakthrough to have an incredible life. And Supply Run is the big TV show concept of it, but Breakthroughs, the live stream, is where we talk about it every day.
Yeah, I would say
Supply Run. Is that good, Jake?
That was pretty good. I was like, oh, he's going to have to riff on this one.
Yeah,
there you go.
And start repeating bad habits, or do you mean stop repeating bad habits? That's what I want to know. I think you might either that's a typo or he's just being honest.
Maybe he just wants to repeat the bad habits again. It's that.
There it is. All right. Okay, well then stick around.
Yeah,
so we're literally talking about it right now.
You can watch the trailer on the main page of our channel, and that is like much different than what we're talking about now. We're talking about the things that build up to what Supply Run is. Supply Run is a modality to solve a lot of what we're talking about on this very quickly, within 3 weeks' time. Whereas that's not possible for a lot of people to go do something like Supply Run. So we're taking all of that information and making a live stream so that people, living a very normal life can apply the things we do.
Let's talk about Johnny's bad habits. Stop repeating bad habits. Johnny, appreciate you chiming in, by the way. So I want to think about the bad habits. So let's just use that as an example. And Johnny, you can take this however you want. So right now, I don't know what Johnny's bad habits are. Johnny. Okay. Well, okay. So stagnation. So here's the deal. I want you to know this. Whenever you have a thought, right, you produce a feeling in your body. Literally, this is science. You have a thought, it produces a chemical in your body. Science calls this psychoneuroimmunology, meaning every time you have a thought, it produces a chemical in the body to make you feel the way you think. Okay? And so right now I see the word stagnate. That is a feeling. I feel stagnated. I feel stuck. Okay, so when you have that feeling, the next question you have to ask yourself is, what is the thought or the thinking that's creating the feeling of stagnation? This takes a little bit of work, but I'm telling you like which way we go. Well, what could be the thought that makes me feel stagnated? Well, in this case, it says, hey, it's my circle. I don't know what your circle is, your friends, your family, and that's the thought. But we need to get more specific on the thought. What is the actual specific thought? And sometimes what we do is we have to work through all the thoughts out there until you identify that really specific thought. And in this case, it could be the stagnation. I feel like I am made for more. Maybe that's the thought. I am made for more, but I can't get there because of the circle I'm in. And so I feel stagnated. And when you do that, the thinking, the feeling, you create this
maybe
tornado.
That's the circle.
Maybe
it's a loop. It's a pattern.
Create that loop. And so the next thing would be, well, if I feel like I'm made for more, we need to say something along the lines of, well, what is my potential and what is more? And so you can say, well, I could be more fit.
You should watch our last live stream.
Oh my God, we did a whole live stream on this, Johnny. Trust me. Yes, I trust me.
Yes. I mean, so we only do 30-minute live streams. Some people do like 3 hours. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
We don't have video games to play because I know that's a big thing takes up a lot of time. But like I'd say a lot of, including this topic of this live stream and the one that you mentioned here, I had to show this. No one else can see what he's saying. But this talks about, his circle, and like we talked on our last live stream about community or the fear of judgment of other people, and why is that? And it goes back to this ancestral thing where like if people didn't like you, then you were kicked out of the tribe or the community and you died because you're out in the wilderness. And this is like, hundreds of years ago or thousands of years ago. And it comes back to this idea that there has to first be a break in the cycle or the circle. And then it's, what do you do with that, right? So if in your scenario, you're like, I need to leave, I want a different group, but I don't know how to do that. And so first you have to break something with the group, like you're aware of it, but then like, what do you do? And then in our last live stream, I won't re-explain it all here, but essentially there are plenty of other communities. And if you don't know where they are or what they are, then you can create your own, which was not something that was possible thousands of years ago as easily.
So I actually want to know, Johnny, and you don't have to respond on this, but I want to plant this seed. Who do you want to be, right? Is it, I want to be fit. I want to be this. I want to be that. Like, so there's something in there that you want to be that the circle is not helping you be, right? And that's what I need you to find. You need to have the thought, I want to be this. And that's the difference. Because once you say, I want to be this, then your mind and your body actually start to make the effort. The issue is you come up against things like a circle that stagnates that thought. That's why Jake's saying, go back and listen to the other live stream. But the first thought you have to have is, I want to be this. And you have to get that thought so ingrained into your brain structure that your every day is geared around that. And that's where it changes.
Yeah.
But
you talk about repeating habits. In the neuroscience, you have to repeat this new thought enough times that your body and your brain follows.
Yeah. And Johnny, I keep reading his comments here, right? Like, I need you to pick one. We all want to be better at everything, trust me. But I want you to pick one. What is the one that like just stands out the most? Tell me. I'm waiting. It's so funny. I was like, I don't know if there's a delay. I don't even know.
Yeah. He could have just left for all we know.
Yeah.
Can we just chilling here for 30 seconds? Here we go. Financially.
Okay.
Great.
Cool. You got, okay. That's where you start. You start on that one. What? And you have to outline the thought. What does financially better? What is the thought about financially? I'm just asking these questions. You don't have to answer them now. But now we have a very segmented thinking process. Okay. Right now, you may say things like, well, I don't know much about finances, or I know enough about finances, but it's just not where I want it to be. You just have to find out, okay, this is what I want finances to look like for me. You have to find that. And then you have to make the thoughts around that. Now, this is high level talking. Honestly, Johnny, this is a fantastic conversation. And if you're open to it, I'd love to have, we would love to have you actually come on this next time we do a live stream or in the future, and we can just work it out together, because then we can talk about it. So if you're open to that, let us know here in the comments,
message or something.
And then we can reach out to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we are coming up on time on this one, and we have to kind of close it out. But we wanted to put that out there.
I mean,
anyway,
let's
go ahead, Jake.
No, I was just I'm trying to tie it all back. This is like the first, thanks, Johnny. Appreciate that.
I appreciate
it. Like
you
the first thing where it wasn't just like, hey,
Yeah.
But I'm trying to tie it back to like this topic, right? Which this topic applies to all of the live streams in reality. And like, obviously we don't know all the specific details, right? Of the financial stuff, but it's like, we were talking about earlier how people that you may know act a certain way all the time, and they are trapped. They are trapped in that state, that identity state. Like, oh, they're always this way. And I'll give myself as an example, because it's not always about other people. There was somebody who called me out in an elevator because they asked me someday at work. They were like, how are you today? And I was like, oh, like same shit, different day sort of feeling, right? And he's like, damn, are things that bad? And I was like, I guess not. I just acted that way all the time. Mm-hmm. And it forced me to become aware of this. And so I had to change. I had to go find the thought that was creating that. And then I had to change that thought. I'm a visual person. So it's like, this is what people see up here. and then you become aware of it, and you have to go all the way down to like, what is the thought that's creating this, what people see? And I got to change this thought, and then I got to come back up, and now all of a sudden people are seeing a different version of myself, and not just other people seeing it, but now I act differently. And so if it's a financial thought, you need to go down, why is that thought that way? You need to change that thought, and now you live that thought. I'm trying to sum this up real fast.
It makes sense.
Okay, and now your identity is somebody who's you have a different financial identity than you had previously, and now all of your actions and behaviors change, and then your environment changes to match that. Wow, there's another live stream.
The whole nother live stream.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny, do you want to come on this show and talk with us about the discipline? Because we can work it out with you. Do you want to come on the show at some point and we can talk about it? Just let us know. But yeah, it's funny. I also want to, when you're going back to your thing about how you were saying that in the elevator, I honestly want to tell people who it is, so that if you ever heard this, it's George, dude, you really got my brother. He's never
still think about it,
dude. What year was that?
15 or 16?
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, George, you got my brother to like change his thinking. Oh man,
someone called my ass out for the first time.
He called his ass out for the first time.
And that's the thing is, people, yourself included, anybody watching this in your own way, you're not aware of it. And that's why I always bring up other people, because they make you aware faster. But if no one is calling you out on it, then now is your chance to think deeply about, am I the person I want to be? And why is that the case or not the case, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Anyway.
Well, Johnny, I got another idea. Sorry. We could do this as like just a Google Meet where we don't record anything. We just talk with you. But then you give us permission not to use your name. Well, I guess it's already there, but not to use your actual real name and stuff, to have the conversation, so we can say this is how it worked through. So we can just do a Google Meet where it's not a live stream. We don't record it. All we want to do is be able to tell the story of what we came out of it, so that people can use this as a way to improve their life, like you're trying to do with yours.
And this is new to us too, Johnny. Yeah. So like another option in addition to that, is like we could ask very specific questions, and you can tell us answers to those questions. And Chad and I can try to break that down live with your world as the thing. Basically what we would do here if we weren't 5 minutes over our time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, your voice won't be recorded. Yeah. So you know what? Just go to Instagram and message me or Jake.
Yeah.
Just go just go to Instagram or just
any
give
of the platforms.
Give him one
I know you're on YouTube right now, so just we can reach out to you through YouTube, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
I can send you a message.
What's the one action?
God,
Jake, what's the one action here?
All right, the one action here is, if any of this is interesting, go to supplyrunshow.com. I don't know. That's the fastest thing I could think of. Supplyrunshow.com explains a lot of what we're talking about. Okay, cool. Well, man, I love this topic. I think we might do session 2 on this next week. We should probably do weekly topics sometimes, where there's like a 3-part breakdown.
Yeah. This was a big one to try and chunk down in 30 minutes. And then, we were obviously talking with Johnny here. Yeah. So, okay. Well, go to supplyrunshow.com to learn about Supply Run. Yeah. Otherwise, Breakthroughs, the live stream that we're doing, is about the everyday things that lead up to Supply Run. And we are actually adding this to Substack, and that is a place where you can actually just add an email, and you'll just get to know everything as we go. Yeah. Which will make this whole CTA at the end, call to action at the end, way easier and simpler than about 5 different locations as we sort shit out on the fly. We're getting better, but we're still figuring things out. You gotta break things to figure out what's wrong. And this is one where we're like, oh God, somebody actually had like a real conversation with us. We don't know how to adapt. Yeah. So cool. Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate it. Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate you chiming in today. Big gulps, huh? Well, see you later.